Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. Knowing that your relationship will lead you to your kingdom marriage, you need discernment. You also need wisdom as well, and your relationship must be aligned to God's purpose. When you are in a relationship with someone, obviously you can see whether this relationship is going somewhere or it's not. So one of the signs that you will see that your relationship is not leading to a kingdom marriage is there's no partnership. Because a kingdom marriage is not just a relationship, it's a partnership. You both need to agree on all aspects of life, even if it's not everything, but agree on something or some things. If you don't see yourself in all aspects of life, then it won't lead you to a kingdom marriage. Because God's purpose when it comes to marriage is the concept of why He created marriage. Obviously, it's to expand His kingdom in the human history. It's a covenantal union between a man and a woman, functioning under God's authority in order to replicate His image on earth. That is why it's a kingdom marriage, because you are replicating His image here on earth. The solution here is to cultivate a sense of partnership if you don't have that partnership, by discussing shared goals and dreams. Because when you discuss those goals together, at least you know where the relationship is going. You both have an idea what you want to do in the future. If you don't see yourself in His goals and dreams in the future, then at least you can make that decision to leave. And the next is lack of spiritual alignment. You know, when it comes to a kingdom marriage, you need to understand what is a kingdom marriage in the first place. Because a kingdom marriage differs from a traditional notion of a marriage. It's more focused on biblical values and to focus more on God, which is the foundation of the relationship. So both partners have to work closely with God. If the spiritual values differ, then this marriage won't end up being a kingdom marriage because they're not on the same page. They're not equally yoked. This can hinder the marriage itself. The solution to this is to prioritize your spiritual alignment by seeking God and praying together as a couple. And then you know that you're both into this together. Nobody's forcing anyone because you both want to do this together. That's why you need to be aligned with God in order to approach any conflicts that come along with grace. And the next point to see that your relationship is not going to end up being a kingdom marriage when you're self-centered and focused on that. When a relationship is focused on your personal desires rather than what God wants, you are more interested in your worldly stuff, in the worldly things. You're not putting God first in this relationship or just your individual happiness. You're more focused on how can you be happy than being focused on how can you make God happy. And this may not lead to a kingdom marriage because eventually you both start desiring one another. Even though you've both agreed that you're going to wait until you're married, temptation will start sneaking in. And the solution when it comes to this is to shift your focus more to God. And this will help you when temptation creeps in. Try and serve God and honor Him together so that you can both hold one another and avoid being tempted. Because self-centeredness can cause many challenges in this relationship. Because both of you don't emphasize in keeping God as the center of this relationship. When one is falling, nobody tries to pick the other one up. You're both self-centered, or one of you is. Because remember, when it comes to relationships, they're not always perfect. We as humans were not perfect. There'll always be disagreements. It's how you solve those disagreements. And when you put God as the center of your relationship, those disagreements will be easier to solve. Because you will handle those disagreements in a way that honors God, which involves humility and wisdom. So here are some practical steps that you'll be able to navigate any disagreement in a godly manner. One of the things that you need to do is check your heart. Before you can address any disagreement, take time to examine your heart. Check if there are any faults in you that you need to change, because maybe you are the one that needs to change. Are there any prideful or selfish motives that you may not be aware of? Because sometimes you may not know that about yourself until someone recognizes it and tells you. And you think your partner is the one that's wrong, and yet you're the one that's wrong. This is when you have to seek guidance and ask God to humble your spirit. Because in James 4 verse 7, it reminds us that we need to submit to God and resist the devil's plans. When your heart is aligned with God, you can approach any conflict with grace. Some of the things you don't even need to answer. And the next thing is to be spiritually aware of temptations, because the devil is very sneaky. He will tempt you in a way that you won't see that he's already tempting you. Maybe he'll bring in some thoughts that you even forgot that you used to do. He will tempt you so much that you focus on being in a relationship, even if you know that this relationship is not worth it. Because he wants you to glorify him rather than glorifying God himself. He doesn't want you to end up being with that kingdom spouse. Instead, he brings a counterfeit because he hates kingdom marriages. He will tempt you in order for you to fall so that you don't see the real deal. So here's a solution here. Try to stay grounded in biblical principles. Seek for discernment so that you can be able to see when a spiritual warfare comes along and you're able to fight it. The devil will also try and bring that emotional distance between you and your partner, where you both lack affection for one another. Suddenly, your partner is distant towards you and you don't know why. This could be a sign that your relationship is falling apart. Your communication becomes less and less. And once there's no communication in a relationship, there's no relationship. Because how can you claim you love someone when you don't communicate with them? You don't even know what's going on in their lives. Really? And you claim that you love that person? No matter how busy you are with your life, make that time. Talk about your needs and wants. And be open about them. Don't sugarcoat anything. Maybe you can just learn to be slower before you speak and listen more, like what James 1 verse 19 says. Then you can understand your partner, how they speak to you, because we're all different when it comes to communication. This is when you're now able to seek common grounds and focus on what unites you rather than what divides you. So another way of navigating those disagreements is when you start ignoring the red flags. Red flags that will be there. And it's the easiest way where God shows you about the character of this person. But we tend to ignore them for some reason with the hope that this person will change. And the solution when it comes to this is once you see a red flag, talk about it. There could be a reason why it's there. If you don't talk about it and you ignore it, then it becomes part of the relationship, which you don't want. Honestly, you need to address those red flags and seek growth together. If you are going to ignore it, then this person may carry this into your marriage. And it will be too late to change that person because you never spoke about it while you were in a relationship with that person. So that person felt it was okay. You accepted it. Have an open communication and be transparent, even when it comes to your doubts and struggles. If you notice that when a couple is always together and working together in so many things, people tend to envy that couple without even realizing that it's all about the kingdom rather than themselves. Because remember, kingdom marriage is not just about two people. It's about God's kingdom unfolding through a union. When you have those disagreements, take them to God rather than trying to deal with those disagreements yourselves. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video. God bless you.